horizon.
A very good morning. Many thanks indeed for joining us yet on another edition of Political Spectrum. We're coming to you live on Spectrum Television. Hello from me. I am Raymond Ita. It's 16 more days to go before Nigerians head to the polls to elect a new president and members who will represent their respective constituencies in the National Assembly. Well, the politicking continues in the lead up to that, and we've been doing our best to keep you abreast with the latest political developments from across the country, disappointedly occasioned by the hardships Nigerians are going through at the moment. So in the months and weeks leading up to the polls, there was assurance and confidence on all fronts, from the federal government to the electoral umpire INEC, and the resolution of Nigerians that everyone would head to the polls and have a seamless process that would see to free, fair and credible elections, quite better than what we've seen in recent years. However, disturbing occurrences in the last few days and weeks, occasioned by the scarcity of fuel as well as the new redesigned narrow notes of the CBN, has led to concerns as to whether or not the elections would hold. Well, yesterday, the CBN governor assured the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, that whatever level of support or logistics was needed from the Apex Bank to facilitate a seamless electoral process, the CBN would provide it. And so they have reiterated their calls that the scarcity of the narrow notes and the entire policy on the new redesign would not affect the polls in any way. We'll dwell on all of this, of course, in the course of the program, but during burning stories, we'll be looking at the All Progressives Congress in Akwa State, APC, who will finally kick off the state campaign rally later today, while the APC in Akwa State has alleged that the resident electoral commissioner in the state is nursing plans to rig the 2023 gubernatorial elections in Akwa State. We'll be joined live on the program by Barrister Imo Akpan, the APC state campaign spokesperson, to bear his thoughts on this issue. But let's begin with our regular roundup of the day's biggest political news stories and updates. And we're starting off with Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who has urged Nigerians to regulate, discipline, and hold their next set of leaders accountable at the ballot come February 25 and March 11. Now, Osinbajo, who spoke at the National Delegates Conference of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Abuja, noted that when all Nigerians, especially the political elite, begin to see the country's diversity as an asset rather than a tool for division, then its socio-economic and cultural capital can be further deepened. Well, the Vice President had said countries who had learned to hack the diversity principle are now leading the global race for prosperity as well as progress. Well, he further added the politicians who continue to traffic in division and discord are actually behind the times and have failed to take note of how much more integrated the Nigerian society has become. So whether this will play out at the polls is left for all to be seen. But let's move away from that now. The governor of the CBN, Governor Emefiele, has assured that the Naira redesign policy will not affect the 2023 general elections. Now, according to him, the Apex Bank is committed to providing all the needed cash and logistics towards ensuring a hitch-free general elections in the country. Emefiele gave the assurance during a meeting with the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, yesterday. Well, Emefiele noted that the CBN has worked with INEC in the storage of INEC election materials and also provided foreign exchange to acquire elections equipment. So with a statement from the CBN, perhaps it would put to rest the complaint and concerns about whether or not the elections would go on as planned. Let's go to Lagos State now, where the All Progressives Congress APC has announced the suspension of its campaign activities ahead of the forthcoming elections due to fuel scarcity and the cash crunch occasioned by the Naira redesign. Now, the state chairman of the APC in Lagos, Pastor Cornelius Ojelabi, made the announcement in a statement released by the party's publicity secretary, Seye Oladejo, yesterday. Ojalabi said the decision was reached due to the scarcity of fuel and the pain caused by the Naira redesign. Well, the chairman said that the party empathized with the general public, especially the downtrodden, who were at the receiving end of the policy. Now, according to him, it will be insensitive to forge ahead with the various rallies with the situation of things. Ojalabi said members of the APC were not immune against the development, adding that he had been inundated with several complaints. He further appealed that petroleum products should be made available in order not to jeopardize the preparation for the elections and reduce the negative economic impact. To the PDP crisis, Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike said the state government has reissued the approval for the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to use the Adoke Amesiamaka Stadium in the state to host its presidential campaign rally. Now, recall that the Rivers State government had on January 31st, 2023, withdrawn the initial approval of January 11. On the grounds that credible intelligence and recent development showed that the PDP presidential campaign organization is actually working in collaboration with the All Progressives Congress APC in Rivers State. But the government said it understood that the PDP presidential campaign organization was intending to share the approved facility with the APC, whose activities, they say, are characterized by violence and destruction. Wike, who spoke at the state's PDP campaign rally in Oguebolo local government area yesterday, said the government had reapproved the use of the venue after several pleas were made by personalities. Well, he also spoke on the crisis in the PDP, even as he faulted the comment made by the national chairman of the party, Iyorchia Ayu, that a member of the G5 had allegedly visited him. Well, Wike said the claim was absolutely false, as no member of the group of the 5 PDP governors advocating for the southern chairmanship of the party will visit Iyorchia Ayu. Wike also said no one can blackmail the G5 governors to drop their political advocacy because it is a fight they must surely win, and insisted that no one can chase them away from the party they built. Erstwhile Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has said the North should succeed President Muhammadu Buhari and rule Nigeria for another 4 years. Dogara said ruling Nigeria for another 4 years after Buhari will ensure equity and justice for the North. Well, he explained that the North would have equaled the South by ruling for another 4 years. Now, the former speaker was speaking in Zonkwa, Kaduna State, noting that the South had ruled Nigeria for 14 years, while the North has ruled for 10 years. Well, he pointed out that the South had produced former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan, while the North had Yaradua, of blessed memory, who did only 2 years, while President Muhammadu Buhari will complete his years. Well, according to him, former President Jonathan and Obasanjo were both Christians who ruled for 6 and 8 years respectively, and said it was only right for the North to do same. Well, interesting gimmicks ahead of the polls. We'll find out how this play on the minds of Nigerians, with some political parties and candidates equally campaigning on this rhetoric about power division between the North and the South, and whether it would eventually play out in the minds of voters heading to the polls, coupled with the drama around the choice of running mates by some political parties, which has spearheaded the argument about a Muslim-Muslim, Christian-Christian, or vice versa ticket as we head up to the polls. But that's not the major concern for today. After all the political intricacies and litigations that has marked the course of its campaigning, the APC in Akwa Ibom State is finally set to kick off its gubernatorial campaign rally today. Plus, the allegation that the resident electoral commissioner in Akwa Ibom State is making plans to rig the 2023 governorship election. Barrister Mokban is the spokesperson of the APC campaign council in Akwa Ibom State. He will join us in the course of the program, but that will be when we come back from this break. Stay with us. Political Spectrum will return.
When it comes to football, the passion is unrivaled and the heat never stops. Be a part of the unending action on Battle of the Fans. With expert analysis, previews and reviews of the biggest games in the biggest leagues, as well as football fan banter that never goes out of style.
To delay the progress of the league, it means you're not capable.
They have done their job. If to be honest, if you look at them, they have done their job.
Join us Wednesdays 5 to 6:30 p.m. Saturdays 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Only on Spectrum Television.
It is Cristiano Ronaldo!
One goal! What a finish!
Battle of the Fans. Exclusive to Spectrum TV.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abuse. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigeria Police Force, which shall be administered, organized and supervised by the Nigerian police.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Ibom.
He did not.
My lord, the matters council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in course of
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Every day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigeria. From issues on politics,
Hello, Nigeria. I remain committed.
security, education, health, lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Kobum and Uyai Anyeken every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
When it comes to football, the passion is unrivaled and the heat never stops. Be a part of the unending action on Battle of the Fans. With expert analysis, previews and reviews of the biggest games in the biggest leagues, as well as football fan banter that never goes out of style.
To delay the progress of the league, it means you're not capable.
They have done their job. If to be honest, if you look at them, they have done their job.
Join us Wednesdays 5 to 6:30 p.m. Saturdays 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Only on Spectrum Television.
It is Cristiano Ronaldo!
What goal! What a finish!
Battle of the Fans. Exclusive to Spectrum TV.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abuse. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigeria Police Force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Ibro.
He did not.
My lord, the matters council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but you can't be talking about cases which are in court,
Is
my lord.
this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Every day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigeria. From issues on politics,
hello Nigeria, I remain committed.
Security, education, health, lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Kobum and Uyai Anyeken every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyeken every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Welcome back, and many thanks indeed for staying with us. You're still watching Political Spectrum live on Spectrum Television. The countdown continues, of course, to the February 25 and March 11 general elections in Nigeria. The readiness level of all quarters, beginning, of course, from the electoral umpire INEC to the electorate, will continue to be on the focus as we lead up to the polls. But today, we're staying with issues closer to home, especially as it concerns the activities of the All Progressives Congress APC in preparation for the March 11 gubernatorial elections in the state. We know the party has had internal intricacies to deal with owing to constant litigations primarily targeted at who should be the authentic flag bearer of the party ahead of the governorship elections. All of that was laid to rest weeks ago when the Federal Court of Appeal ruling in Abuja upheld the candidacy of Kanimo Dofia as the candidate of the APC in the lead up to the polls. The party is now set to formally kick off its governorship campaign rally today, and that's slated for the Kodekbene Township Stadium at 10 a.m. But there are other pressing issues to look at, with the APC alleging that the resident electoral commissioner here in Akwa State is actually fomenting plans to rig the 2023 polls. Are there truth to these rumors or not? Well, joining us live to give us feelers on this is the campaign spokesperson of the APC gubernatorial campaign council here in Akwa State, and he's no stranger, by the way, to Political Spectrum. Barrister Ibom joins us live on the program. Good morning to you, Barrister. Welcome to Political Spectrum.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here. I can't pick all what you have said, but I'm sure that I will be able to answer questions that are required of me.
And it's a pleasure to have you join us as well. Let's quickly start by saying, first of all, of course, congratulations to you on your recent appointment as the spokesperson for the Kanimo Dofia Campaign Council as we lead up to the polls. And I'd like to start off with the anticipated rally of your party later today. Finally, the APC in Akwa State will be holding its gubernatorial campaign rally, and we're told that's slated for the Kodekbene Township Stadium. Can you give us feelers as to what to expect at the rally?
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your kind thoughts on my appointment, and in the days leading to the elections would enlist your support and partnership as we drive the shared prosperity mantra and message to Akwa Ibom people. Now, finally, we're also holding our campaign flag off, the governorship campaign flag off today. In the past, official flag off. In the past, the governorship candidates and all candidates of the party have had the opportunity to interface with members of the party and the public on consultation basis, mostly on private basis, trying to pass across the message and what the Kanimo Dofia candidature for governor represents in Akwa Ibom State. And so today will be officially flagging off the campaigns. The campaigns will be driven to all the nooks and crannies of Akwa Ibom State. We will take the campaigns to every household and to every person who is of voting age. We'll be passing a very simple message across to Akwa Ibom people with borders on the campaign slogan for Akwa Ibom rebirth, leading to shared prosperity for our people. So at the Ikore Township Stadium, which is about starting now, we expect that the stadium must have been filled by now, going by the sheer number of enthusiastic party faithful and supporters. We saw what happened about 2 weeks ago when the presidential candidate of the party was here at the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium. It was filled to capacity and also overflowing. So today we'll be at the Ikore Township Stadium. We expect our members from across the state to converge on the facility, and then we'll be joined by the governorship candidate and his running mate, Right Honorable Victor Antai, senatorial candidates for all the 3 senatorial districts, the 10 House of Representatives candidates, and all the House of Assembly candidates for the party would be on that facility, and then all our members. We expect it to be very colorful, very convivial. The members of the party, like I said, are very, very, very excited, and we just couldn't wait for this to happen. It is long overdue, but it is better late than never. We still think that we have sufficient time to pass across a very simple message to Akwa Ibom people. That message is going to be simplified. It may not be simplistic, but it's going to be simplified to the extent that the basic meanings are not lost.
All right, interesting. I'd just like to ask quickly as well, if you don't feel that the recent crisis that engulfed your party with the constant court cases all surrounding who should be the gubernatorial candidate of the party is a worry. I'd like to get your feelers on this. Do you think members of your party, the aggrieved ones, are not going to pose a concern to the success of this rally?
No, well, I think I lost part of the question there, but I understand you to ask if members of the party who are not very happy with the candidature of Obama Kamalofia would pose a threat. Right. No, I don't see them posing a threat. In fact, most members, and I say most, I was going to speak in absolute terms, but I know that there are 1 or 2 people who may not be at the campaign grounds today, at the flag off ceremony, but most members will be there. Most members are excited. Most members are also wearied by the factors that have pulled us back in the last couple of weeks and months. And given by the gesture of the governorship candidate extended to all aggrieved members and those whom he has made personal contacts and visits to and with, we expect that many of our members have now sheathed their swords and have embraced the need to close ranks for us to forge ahead as one united front. Granted that we'll still have a few cases in court. Those who are going to court, expressing their constitutional right to seek litigation on issues they're not very comfortable with. We don't begrudge them. We would have preferred a situation where we come together and then agree on that platform of compromise, that where the majority also has its way. The majority would have its say. But be that as it may, the party is forging ahead. Those who are not with us today would join us along the way. This is a mass movement. This is an Akwa Ibom movement. This is not just an APC movement. So we expect supporters, even non-aligned members of the public, who would key into the very essence of this campaign, of this governorship race for 2023 in Akwa Ibom State, to change the fortunes of the state by changing the fortunes of individual Akwa Ibom people, whether you are a citizen, whether you are an indigene, whether you're just a resident here. But so long as you are fortunate to find yourself in Akwa Ibom State, you would have the best of opportunity to ply your trade, to work in the civil service and be accorded your due, and then to also realize your ambition. We realize that in the last almost 8 years, there have been deficits, there have been flaws in the dysfunctional patterns of even promotion of civil servants, failure to pay them, leave grants, failure to pay, and in fact, areas of promotions. We have seen failures, very patent failures in the way we have dealt with senior citizens who have had the opportunity of serving the state meritoriously, whether they are alive or not. We've seen how their kith and kin have been treated with levity and have not been accorded what is due to them. We have seen that businesses are not thriving in Akwa Ibom State, and our total, the middle class is totally eroded because we have not found gainful employment. We haven't also created the environment for businesses to thrive, and then for that level of our workforce, to be engaged profitably. So the shared prosperity mantra would address all of these issues. And then for those who are in Akwa Ibom State, we expect that they'll key into this so that we can have a better life for ourselves as Akwa Ibom people, and then have a state that we have always desired to have. Right now, there is a total lull in almost all facets. Whether you're talking about infrastructure, you're talking about investments, just name them. We have a befuddling of our financial sector, our books of accounts. Nobody knows what is going on. We have received humongous sums of money in terms of grants. We've taken loans, our monthly allocations. We really do not know what it is applied for. We're going to be ushering in a fresh administration, by the grace of God, that is transparent and open to Akwa Ibom people, and that would live up to the expectations of the Akwa Ibom
it does beg the question, whether you feel the APC in the Akwa Ibom State does have the blueprint to address most of the concerns that you have raised here, especially with worrying rhetoric making the rounds. There are some members of your party who have been a part and parcel of the PDP administration in Akwa Ibom State virtually since 1999. Up until recent years, and would you say that they are equally improbable, for the concerns that you have raised there, which you feel the PDP administration needs to rescue itself from? Yes, you're presenting a different candidate in the person of Obama Kanimo. It is equally surrounded by persons who are defected from the PDP to the APC, and coming out to say they have the answer to the question that Barbara might have all the governance. Don't you think that could equally hamper the messages of prosperity
that you hope to sell out for Pablo beginning from today? Well, we don't have quarrels with people's political backgrounds. Apart from a few members of the APC, we've had quite a very mobile political space. You have politicians, for one reason or the other, they've had cause to move from one political party or the other. I mean, that has become part of the Nigerian political experience. But our strongest message, which we're presenting to Akwa Ibom people, is the embodiment of the person of our governorship candidate, Obama Kanimo Odofia. Obama Kanimo Odofia has never been a government appointee. He's never been a government contractor. He's never been linked to government contracts or linked to government patronages. He has been an independent business entrepreneur, very private in his dealings and his operations. And in the last 25 years has succeeded in elevating an entrepreneurial concern to limelight by attaining global positioning and standards and success. And what the APC today is leveraging on is the fact that beyond the manifesto of the party as an association, of like minds, of progressives. We also have what you would call our top striker, the alter ego of our party today in Akwa Ibom State, as somebody who has the pedigree, as somebody who has the integrity of character, as someone who has the experience, as someone who has empathy, and then somebody whom we can all trust and rely on his leadership based on experience, based on his past, and based on the things which are verifiable, which he has done. Others may not be able to boast or make the kind of boast that we boast of in the person of Obon Okanimo. So if there are people in other parties who feel that they can invest their trust and confidence in the person of Obon Okanimo, who is the APC flag bearer for Akwa Ibom Governorship 2023, they are most welcome. The APC will not chase away people based on based on their backgrounds or based on their previous engagements with other political parties. Our own philosophy as a progressive party is not eroded merely because you have members who maybe belongs to PDP, which is the party that has birthed the government of the day in Akwa Ibom State. But we're also saying that that time has come. If we have had experimental leadership all this while, especially and particularly because the issues we highlight now have been brought to the fore in the last 8 years. And that's why we are saying that if the PDP insists on presenting itself to Akwa Ibom people for re-election, it will be a referendum on what this particular government has been doing with our resources and the collective trust of Akwa Ibom people for the last 8 years. So when you look at campaign materials for the PDP and they tell you it's about continuity, the issue is continuing with what? It is more like telling you, well, we are going for a third term. And we are saying that we cannot continue as it is. The APC governorship candidate will also unveil his campaign document, his manifesto to Akwa Ibom people on a later date. And then Akwa Ibom people will get to see the details, step-by-step approach on how we intend to tackle the problems we have identified. Some of the snipers are the things that I have mentioned, but the entire concept, the aggregate of the concept of our manifesto, what drives our candidature is shared rebirth. We must rebuild our state, the status that we have always longed for. Akwa Ibom State has no reason whatsoever to be ranked in the demographic indexes as a state that is known for unemployment or poverty. When we talk about poor of the wretched of society, the poor of the poor, then you begin to mention Akwa Ibom people. We have had to remain as an educationally advantaged people for many years. But that is not the case now, because when you look at the universal examination,
having a gap with most of the things you are saying. We're hoping to. I don't know if you can still hear me.
That's correct, I can hear.
All right, good enough. You've said all of that. Let's dwell on other issues that your party, the APC, has raised.
The APC has raised in the lead up to the elections here in the state. Several times we've had to have a conversation. You have questioned the integrity of the former
in Akwa Ibom State in the person of Mike Igini, alleging his collusion with the Akwa Ibom State government to truncate the recent elections we had in the state back in 2019. Well, those concerns have raised their ugly heads again, at least from your own view, with feelings around your party that the newly appointed REC is again likely to collude with the ruling party in the state to truncate the elections. Where are you premising these suspicions that the new REC in Akwa Ibom State is likely to collude with the People's Democratic Party to pervade the course of justice and rig the 2023 elections? So do you have evidences to buttress these claims?
Akwa Ibom State is synonymous with the symbiotic relationship between that commission and the People's Democratic Party in Akwa Ibom State. And this relationship dates back to 1999. I say so because the immediate past resident electoral commissioner for Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Mike Guinea, in his own words and admission, he said when he assumed duties in Akwa Ibom State, he noticed that from the records, elections have always, or election results have always been written. Election results have always been written. And that meant that whatever the outcome of the election is or was, the party in power always had a way of writing the results, or INEC had a way of writing the results to favor Akwa Ibom people. Some time ago, we had a returning officer for INEC for the governorship elections, I think in 2015 specifically, who while reading the results clearly said, we gave so and so number of votes to this party. We gave so and so number of votes to this party, giving the impression that votes were actually allocated, and indeed the votes have always been allocated. Now also, on the heels of Mr. Guinea's statement as regards the writing of election results in Akwa Ibom State, drawing historical antecedents, the Commissioner for Information also said on record that that the PDP had what he chose to call a winning mechanism. A winning mechanism. Now, if you marry the winning mechanism alongside what Mr. Guinea said at the time, what it gives you is a rigging mechanism. The fact that you have INEC colluding or enjoying this robust symbiotic relationship between the PDP and the government in power just shows you that there is an immoral relationship that pitches the commission, which ought to be an independent electoral umpire, against other political parties. And we have consistently raised alarm over the meddlesomeness, over the lack of neutrality of INEC in the conduct of elections in Akwa Ibom State. Now, a few weeks ago, specifically in the first week of January, we had raised alarm that the permanent voters' cards, which were being distributed across the state, were being hijacked by individuals who were known to be agents of the PDP and working for the PDP.
But we've equally heard cases in some areas. We've equally had reports in some areas where it's been alleged that different parties, including the PDP, the APC, the YPP, are being culpable for pervading the course of the electoral process by attempting to vote trade or vote by people's PVCs. Your party has equally been mentioned in the scheme of things. So what would you say to that?
Well, I haven't heard where any incident has been reported and the APC has been indicted. Nowhere in the 31 local government areas of Akwa Ibom State. But the incident I'm alluding to, which took place in the first week of January, is documented. We had issued a press release over it. We had also written a petition to security agencies and also complained to INEC. And I was speaking specifically about the case that happened, took place in Ikano local government area, where a certain Basitiot was apprehended with over 2,000 PVCs, which were meant to be distributed to voters. The matter was reported. He was actually arrested and taken to the divisional police station in Ikano. And we had also raised alarm at the time that we were certain that officials of the PDP and state government were making very frantic efforts to sweep the matter under the carpet and then assist him regain his freedom. And we are certain that that has been successfully done. And though we have raised alarm, we are not aware that INEC has come to discredit our report, because the report came with photographs of the person in question in possession of PVCs. Now it is left for INEC to explain to us if private citizens, for instance, like myself, have the right, to go about with PVCs other than my own personal PVC. But this is one human being known to be an agent of the PDP. With 2,000 PDPs in one single ward in economical government area. And this report pervades the entire state. So if there are other reports that say, well, you know, people in the APC are also culpable, we would love to see those reports. We would also want to see the details. We want to also know the individuals who have been alleged to engage in this misdemeanor. But I'm saying that INEC has not deemed it fit to address this issue. And then as we move closer to the elections, we also have received credible intelligence that the recruitment of ad hoc staff for the election, which was meant to be done online, the applications were meant to be done online and were actually done online. But in our own case, as has always been the case in Akwa Ibom State, in our own case, the resident electoral commissioner, especially his subordinates in the ICT unit, have received from the PDP in Akwa Ibom State a list of those the PDP is proposing to serve as ad hoc staff to supplant those who ought to have been recruited via the online application platform, which would have ensured to a very large extent a level of neutrality. Now, by so doing, which is the reason why we have raised alarm also, by so doing, what the Electoral Commission is telling us is that the elections in 2023 in Akwa Ibom State is going to be superintended over by agents of the PDP. Now, if you add that to the reports of snatching of PVCs and purchase of PVCs and so on and so forth, which is also a claim and allegation were made against the PDP, then you would see that very well in advance, the 2023 elections may have been rigged in favor of the PDP. And that is why we are saying, you know, we're presenting ourselves to Akwa Ibom people and we expect them to have a free choice, you know, to make their decision as to who they would want to govern and lead them post 2023. What we have seen so far is a deficit in the governance of the state, and that is what must change. And Akwa Ibom people must be allowed that opportunity to be objective in their choices, not a situation where there is already a slant and a manipulation in favor of the PDP. That is what the APC is against. They're insisting that the security is
interesting, Barrister. I'd like to put this across to you. I'd like to put this across to you very quickly, Barrister. Some would also say that your actions and inactions have equally contributed to some of the concerns that you have raised. For instance, just as we saw in the 2019 polls, where the APC shied away from attending a peace accord that was, you know, arranged or put together by the electoral umpire INEC. We don't know for a fact if you attended the last one. There are reports that you also failed to show up at the last recently peace accord that INEC had actually organized. So when you shy away from attending activities like this, perhaps you've only given room for most of these nefarious vices to, you know, carry on or continue, because you haven't really provided critical opposition as is expected of you as the main opposition party in the state, aside from just raising these concerns.
Attended every official function where we have been notified or invited by INEC to attend. We are critical stakeholders in the election process. I remember the training program, I think it was a 2 or 3 day training program organized by INEC and other civil society organizations to create awareness about election activities. At that event, the state leader of the party was represented, or rather represented the state chairman at the function. So if there is any other function that has been held and the APC is accused of staying away from it, I don't think that is factual. I don't think that is true. It wouldn't represent the true position of things. APC is open and we're ready to attend whatever function organized by anybody that has anything to do with the electoral process, whether it is for peace accord, whether it is for security, because what we desire is to ensure that a level playing field is afforded all parties. And Akwa Ibom people are allowed to exercise that freedom of a choice to choose who their leaders are or who their governor will be post 2023. It is wrong, it is unconscionable for INEC to present itself as having taken sides with any party to the elections. We don't desire INEC partnership as we move towards the 2023 elections. We expect that the right things be done and everybody be given that opportunity to become partisan rather than remain neutral as an electoral umpire.
Okay, looks like we're still get back clarity of pictures from Barrister Imokban, who has been talking to us extensively about the plans by the All Progressives Congress APC in Akwa Ibom State who are set to flag off the gubernatorial campaign rally today, which would formally herald the candidacy of Obon Akanimo Udofia, the APC flag bearer. The event, by the way, is taking place at the Kodokbene Township Stadium. Looks like we have Barrister Imokban back again, and let's reiterate further on the comments you were making about the allegations of the resident electoral commissioner in Akwa Ibom State to allegedly rig the 2023 polls. The originating questions from a lot of Akwa Ibomites would be that perhaps the APC's new position is merely out of fear and the state of your unpreparedness for the polls, and so perhaps you're just finding loopholes in the event that you don't come out successful in the election. How true are these claims?
No, well, that is not true, and that would be defeatist. We have challenged the resident electoral commissioner to come clean of these allegations. He has refused to say anything, and we are saying that his predecessor in office nurtured a robust relationship with the party in power at the state, and he cannot continue and consolidate on that relationship. The APC is prepared for the elections. We are flagging off our campaigns, like I said earlier, in moments from now. We're going around the entire state to pass the simple message of shared prosperity to Akwa Ibom people. But it is not just the APC that is complaining. It is not just the APC that is raising alarm. Even the YPP, I am aware, has also made allegations bordering on the same facts against the Independent National Electoral Commission. Would you also say that the YPP is afraid of its fortunes in the elections? Would you also say that the YPP is starting out its campaign late? No, you would not say so. And I believe that there are several other political parties in the state who are going to contest this election who have also complained about the compromised position INEC has already adopted well in advance of the elections. And we are saying that whether or not APC is complaining,
Okay, looks like again we've lost clarity with pictures to Barrister Imokban. We sincerely apologize for the poor quality of the connection, but as soon as we can have him back, we'll be glad to do so. Just in case you're joining us, this is Political Spectrum, and it's live on Spectrum Television. And the main focus of our discussion this morning, the All Progressives Congress in Akwa Ibom State is prepping up for its gubernatorial rally, which is slated for today. As a matter of fact, according to the feelers we've gotten, the event is already seemingly on the way, with dignitaries and invited guests already present at the Kodokbene Township Stadium, where Barrister, or rather Obon Akanimo Udofia, will be formally presented to the teaming supporters of the party as well as the state in general as the flag bearer of the APC ahead of the governorship polls. Also, the APC raising concerns about the credibility of the governorship elections in the state following allegations that the resident electoral commissioner in Akwa State is likely colluding with the ruling People's Democratic Party again to navigate the course of the elections in favor of the ruling party. How true are these claims? Barrister Mokban is the APC campaign spokesperson for the Ibom Dofia Gubernatorial Campaign Council here in Akwa State, and he's been talking to us about this very keenly. We'd love to get your reactions as well before we wrap it up on the program later on. So feel free to join us, of course. Just reach out via the numbers that will be displayed on the screen. We'd definitely love to read from you. And we're going to take a very short breather. Stay with us. When we come back, Political Spectrum will continue.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Ibom.
He did not.
My lord, the matters council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My lord, sorry, my lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Welcome back. You're still watching Political Spectrum live on Spectrum Television. Don't forget, you can always connect with us on StarTimes DTH Channel 421. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms for more feeds. Just search on our website, spectrumtv.ng. And should you feel free to be a part of this conversation, you can reach out to us on the numbers displayed on your screen. A reminder of the day's biggest story: the APC in Akwa State is set to flag off its governorship campaign rally today. It's slated for the Kodekbane Township Stadium here in Akwa State. The questions we're asking is, what's the level of preparedness on the part of the APC for that pose? And the APC is equally alleging that the resident electoral commissioner in Akwa State, Cyril Omorogbe, is colluding with the ruling People's Democratic Party to truncate the electoral process. And they have said they would do all within their powers to deter such from happening. We've been talking to Barrister Mokban, the APC campaign council spokesperson here in the state, and we have him back again on Political Spectrum. Okay, we're still trying to establish connection with him, hopefully. But just to rephrase on some of the points he has made already with the two issues up for discussion this morning. First off, the APC largely confident in ensuring that they come out successful in the polls at a third time of asking since the famous merger in 2014. Looking at the timeline of the APC's elections here in the state, then we had current Minister of Niger Delta Affairs and former Secretary to the state government, Obama Okunumana, as the flag bearer of the party in the 2015 polls. He was defeated, of course, at that election by the incumbent Governor Udom Emmanuel. enter the former managing director of the NDDC, Obongsima Ekere, at the 2019 polls. Well, he flawlessly lost again to Governor Udomi Emmanuel, raising questions about the readiness of the APC to take over power in the state and whether they'd gotten their act right. The lead up to the March 11 governorship elections has been bedeviled by constant court cases and litigations left, right, center, ultimately targeted at who should be the party's flag bearer heading into the March 11 election. And these were owing to cases of double primaries and illegalities and irregularities that had marred the conduct of most of those primaries. The biggest burden issue, of course, surrounding the candidacy of Obasanjo Dofia was whether or not he had a right to partake in the APC primaries, which saw him emerge at the end of the day, following concerns and agitation raised by some quarters within the APC in Akwa State that he had already just defected from the PDP to the APC before contesting for that post. While a High Court ruling dismissed his candidacy, ordered for a rerun in 14 days, which we haven't seen. But there was a stay of execution on that judgment by a Court of Appeal ruling in Port Harcourt, which eventually paved the way for another court ruling in Abuja that upheld his candidacy. We'll come back to that. We have a reaction. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, welcome to Political Spectrum. What's your name and where are you joining from? All right, looks like we lost that call. Feel free to reach us back again if you can. Don't forget you can do so on the numbers displayed on your screen. But we'd like to advise that when you do join in, keep your calls and your contributions as moderate as possible. Otherwise, we might have to let you off. All right, back up to the issues we were looking at a short while ago and the constant litigation that has pervaded the APC's campaign here in the state. Right after the Court of Appeal ruling that upheld the candidacy of Obasanjo Dofia, his main challenger, Senator Itainang, a former senior special assistant to President Buhari, had said he would likely challenge the decision at the Supreme Court, which is one case, of course, we're still monitoring very, very closely. But it looks like the APC bigwigs here in the state not so concerned about one of their members and the activities he has been pushing through in ensuring that he gets his mandate at the Apex Court, and one of which was a decision to suspend him or expel him from the party, a claim he says is not true. It looks like we have another reaction. Hello? All right, again, we seem to be having issues with the connections. We're hoping it becomes as seamless so we can continue getting in your reactions. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Welcome.
Hello.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you joining from?
I can hear you, sir. Speak.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you joining from?
And after you is Nyal.
All right, I'm sorry, but we could barely hear a point you were making. We have to pause on the calls for now. Let's focus keenly on going through some of the comments that we're having here in reference to the responses we got from Barrister Imokpan, who is the APC spokesperson. We're still trying to re-establish contact with him. We understand he could be busy, of course, with the APC campaign rally, as we're told, already on the way in terms of preparations. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning to you. You're live on Political Spectrum. All right, looks like we lost that caller again. Okay, back to what we're looking at. Senator Itainang saying he was going to take the matter to the Supreme Court, hoping to get a favorable judgment that would, of course, see to him wrestling the mandate of the APC flag bearer from Obasanjo Dofia as we lead up to the polls. The biggest questions around all of this is whether or not it hasn't hampered the chances of the APC doing well at the polls, because the constant court cases they've had has prevented the party from, doing as most of the parties in the state have done in the course of time, and that's taking the so-called messages of prosperity to the nooks and crannies of the state. While we've seen other parties engaged in series of walk-to-walk tours, different rallies and campaigns, the APC is beginning theirs here in the state with just 16 days to go before the first of the two major elections come around the corner. Well, you could argue there's another 10 days in the month of March to go, so make that over 20 days for the APC to prepare for the elections. Do they have enough time to comb the entirety of the state, inundating people about their programs, plans and policies in the event that they want to get their support and their votes going into the elections? I mean, is that really enough compared to the time that the other parties have had to equally entrench their messages? Well, the last time we did speak to Barrister Mokban, and of course he did reiterate on that a short while ago, it feels confidence level is very high, and even in the face of the constant court cases that they have had, they developed other mechanisms to actually speak and reach out to Akwa Ibom people. Of course, we know one of the other big concerns, which seem to have smeared to an extent the ambitions of the APC, was that just like the ruling People's Democratic Party, they shied away from attending the recent gubernatorial debate conducted by the Nigerian Union of Journalists here in Akwa Ibom State, raising questions as to whether the APC were quite serious about this post. Well, they maintain that health reasons were the major points why Obon Kanimordofia did not attend that debate, but they have said there were other means that they can definitely reach out to Akwa Ibom people. While that could be true, the question is, do they have enough time to do so, knowing that the political landscape in the state has actually changed as we lead up to the polls? All right, do well to stay with us. We understand we have a lot of persons trying to reach into us, but we apologize for the poor quality of the line. But hopefully we're able to chip in some reactions when we come back from another short and a final break before we wrap it up on Political Spectrum. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Every day, we bring you up-to-date information on topical issues affecting the common Nigerian. From issues on politics,
Hello Nigeria, I remain committed.
Security, education, health, lifestyle, and so much more. Join Janice Coburn and Uyai Anyeken every weekday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Rise and Shine Daily, exclusive on Spectrum Television.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyeken every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Welcome back onto the final lap of Political Spectrum. If you're just joining us, it's live on Spectrum Television. A reminder of our major discussion this morning. The Ibom State All Progressives Congress has flagged off its gubernatorial campaign rally today at the Kodokbene Township Stadium in the lead up to the March 11 governorship election. A short while ago, we did get in touch with Barrister Imokban, who is the spokesperson of the Obo-Kanemo-Dofia governorship campaign council, and feel us from that discussion, the APC is in high spirits ahead of the polls as they hope to foster their prosperity mantra in the lead up to the elections, in spite of concerns that they have barely enough time to prepare for the polls after being hampered by constant court cases and litigations as to who should be the authentic flag bearer of the party ahead of those polls. Those concerns have not been totally addressed yet because there's a small matter of a Supreme Court judgment waiting on the wings if the likes of Senator Itanang does get his way, as he has challenged the decision of a court of appeal in Abuja, who weeks back upheld the candidacy of Obo-Kanemo-Dofia as the gubernatorial candidate of the party. Well, the APC don't seem disturbed by that, hence the decision to flag off its rally later today. According to feelers, dignitaries, invited guests, and of course supporters of the party are all tripping in as we speak to the Kodokbene Township Stadium. The other concerns raised by the APC are alleged plans by Cyril Omorogbe, who is the new resident electoral commissioner in Akwa Ibom State. They allege he is colluding with the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Akwa Ibom State to rig the 2023 elections. Well, we did put that across to Barrister Imokban, the APC governorship campaign spokesperson, and they said they had reasons to believe that Cyril Omorogbe is simply towing the line of the former resident electoral commissioner in the state, Mike Igini, who had severally also had interface negative ones we should highlight with the APC here in the state, who constantly claimed that he truncated the 2019 electoral process in favor of the People's Democratic Party. Well, we did try to solicit more responses as to whether they had evidences to back up or buttress their arguments and their claims. Well, one of such is that the APC is monitoring the entire process keenly and would ensure that this doesn't happen. Well, I did raise the question whether or not they have equally submitted their complaints to INEC at the national level because we haven't seen any sort of restraining orders given to Mr. Cyril Omorogbe, the rec here in Akwa Ibom State, as to whether or not there were inklings that the INEC in Akwa Ibom State is likely colluding with the PDP to truncate the electoral process. At no time in the history of the nation's electoral history has INEC been ever confident about ensuring that Nigerians get free, fair and credible polls. So the insinuations of INEC colluding with political parties, it's coming rather as a surprise, and some have said, why always the APC? Just as we saw in 2015, it was more in 2019. The ugly concerns seem to be rearing their ugly heads again as we move on to the polls. Well, INEC hasn't responded, we have to say, to the claims made by the APC here in the state. Until they do so, we cannot say otherwise. But we keep in feelers and taps on activities surrounding the APC as we lead up to the elections. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to give you more feelers from the rally taking place today in Kodokbene Township Stadium and the readiness of the All Progressives Congress to defeat the PDP and the other parties at the March 11 governorship polls. Well, this is where we're going to have to draw the curtains on today's edition of Political Spectrum. Many thanks indeed for joining us, but do also stay on to Spectrum Television for more of the day's broadcast. Coming up in a short bit is Business 360, but Political Spectrum will be back again tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. From me, Raymond Eta, and the rest of the crew. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.